Honey, this is the new owner of your apartment. My mom's words hit me like a thunderbolt. Before I could process what she'd said, she burst into the room carrying my sister's suitcases. My sister, Sloane, followed right behind, wearing sunglasses and carrying a drink as if she were heading to a spa, not my house. I'm taking your room, she said, tossing her bag onto the sofa. Mom says you can sleep in the guest room until I redecorate. I blinked. What? My mom rolled her eyes. Sloane needs some space, and you're not making the most of this apartment. You're just living here. Hello, everyone. My name is Claire Rhodes. I'm 26, and this was the moment my family decided to kick me out of the house I bought with my own savings. Sloane walked over to my room, scanning it like a realtor. The colors are so drab. I'm going to have it repainted. I froze. My name was on the lease, my furniture was on it, my bills were on it, yet they treated me like a guest in my own life. Then Mom threw my jacket at me. Hurry up and get your things out before the movers arrive. She gave me a calm, measured, calculated smile. Fine, I said quietly. If that's what you want, fine, Sloane laughed. But she didn't notice that I'd already pulled out my phone and was recording everything. Sloane kept issuing orders to the movers as if she'd signed the lease herself. Get the dressing table out of the master bedroom, she said. And get rid of that ugly bookshelf. That's my bookshelf, I said calmly. She didn't even look at me. Not anymore. My phone, still recording from the kitchen table, picked up everything, every insult, every command, every mocking laugh. I kept a calm, casual, almost indifferent tone, because the quieter I was, the more reckless they became. Mom started rummaging through my drawers. You should have told us you were saving all that money. It's wasteful. Sloane would use it better. Mom, are you serious? I asked quietly. She gave me that smug smile she reserved when she thought I was exaggerating. My dear, family shares everything. Don't be selfish, my family. The word stung. When they finally left, I closed the door and restarted the recording. The recording of Mom admitting to the property transfer and Sloane demanding I vacate my room. Every word was crystal clear. That night I sent the file, the lease, the receipts, and my bank statements to my lawyer friend Elena. Her reply came within minutes. Nat, this is a treasure. Don't confront them. Just wait. I'll handle the paperwork. I leaned back, smiling ironically. They thought I was packing to leave. I was preparing to kick them out. 2 days later, the movers returned. But this time they weren't there for me. When I opened the door, they handed me a stack of official envelopes. Elena had worked quickly. Court notices. We were told to deliver these to Miss Sloane and Mrs. Marilyn, the foreman said. Perfect timing. An hour later, Mother and Sloane arrived, strutting like royalty, as if they'd come to check on their own home. Sloane looked around and frowned. Why haven't you moved yet? I held up the envelopes. Because I'm not going anywhere. Mother scoffed. What nonsense now? Legal papers? I said. This morning I submitted the lease, the property tax record, and proof of your attempt to evict me, everything. Sloane snatched one from my hand and quickly read it. Her mocking smile vanished. You registered us? Yes, I said quietly. While you were telling me to throw my life in boxes. Mother's voice broke. Are you turning on your own family? No, I replied calmly and firmly. You turned on me the moment you decided my success was yours to tamper with. At that moment my lawyer, Elena, called out over the loudspeaker. Claire, tell them the court has issued a temporary restraining order. No one is to enter your apartment without permission. Sloane's face paled. My mother stammered something about a misunderstanding, but I remained standing, smiling, the same serene smile they had ignored 2 days before. Now it was their turn to pack. That night, a sacred silence filled the apartment. For the first time in months, my belongings were mine again, untouched, unmoved, unclaimed. But the peace didn't last long. At 10:47 p.m., the building's security alarm sounded. Miss Marilyn, your mother's here. She said she'd forgotten her purse. Of course I forgot it, I said, registering before she entered the door. Let her in. My mother came in, feigning modesty. Honey, can we talk? I gestured toward the sofa. We're already talking. Her eyes darted around, searching for sympathy. You embarrassed us with that legal trick. The neighbors are talking about us. Sloane is devastated. I repeated, Sloane. You mean the woman who tried to steal my room, my car, and my dignity? She sighed dramatically. You always twist things. We were helping you take my apartment. I interrupted. You told people you gave it to me. Her lips parted. We didn't say, oh, you did. I turned my phone screen toward her and replayed the recording of her boasting to Sloane. Once Claire's gone, we'll have complete control of this place. Her face paled. Mom, I said quietly. You raised me to believe in family, but you forgot to teach yourself what that means. The doorbell rang again. Elena was holding another envelope. This isn't from the court, she said. It's from the landlord. Mom froze. Elena added, he's terminating their sublease. Immediately. The next morning, the hallway outside my apartment was in chaos. Mom paced back and forth. Sloane was on her phone, trying to call someone important. Elena stood beside me, arms folded, completely unconcerned. You can't just throw us out like that, Claire. Sloane burst out. We're a family. I tilted my head. You should have read the papers before trying to rob my apartment. Elena took a step forward, her tone polite but razor-sharp. For your information, this property is legally leased to Miss Claire Rhodes, and the rent has been paid in full for 2 years. Any unauthorized occupant or attempt to transfer possession without her written consent is in breach of Clause 12B of the lease. My mother blinked. Clause? What? Sloane frowned. Mother, did you read the lease before bringing my things in here? She said she owns them, Sloane whispered. Elena smiled. Ownership doesn't come from presumption, Miss Rhodes, it comes from documents. And they're all in Claire's name. Sloane's voice trailed off. You're doing this to humiliate us. I looked at her calmly and steadily. No, I'm doing this to protect myself from people who have forgotten the meaning of love when it comes to money. The movers, the same ones they had hired days before, appeared at the door again, this time carrying their boxes out. My mother muttered something about betrayal as she followed them. In the hallway, Elena turned to me. You'd handled it perfectly. I sighed slowly. No, I said, glancing at the empty doorway. That was just the beginning. It was a week before I heard from them again. Sloane texted first. Mom wants to talk. We should all have dinner. No lawyers. It sounded innocent, but with my family, nothing ever was innocent. I quietly agreed because sometimes letting people talk is the best way to find out what they really mean. When I arrived at the restaurant, Mom was already waiting, perfectly poised, her tone rehearsed. Honey, she began. We just want to make a fresh start. Families shouldn't fight over something as trivial as an apartment. Trivial? I repeated. You tried to hand my life over to someone else. Sloane frowned, stirring her drink. You're overreacting. Grandpa always said that the family property belongs to everyone. I smiled slightly. He also said that honesty comes before inheritance. That silenced her. Mom leaned toward me, her voice soft but sharp. You've made us look awful, Claire. The landlord, the neighbors, everyone thinks we're greedy. You have to change that. How? I asked. By posting something nice online. Say you misunderstood us. Say we were helping you. I laughed softly. You're asking me to lie again? Her gaze hardened. That's the least you could do to us. I stood up, placing my phone on the table, the screen still recording. No, Mom. What I owe you is a mirror, so you can finally see who you've become. Their faces darkened. I picked up my bag and left quietly without rushing. The next morning, I woke up to 83 missed messages. Half from Sloane, the other half from my mother. My quiet exit from dinner had apparently spread like wildfire. I hadn't posted anything, not a word, but the restaurant's security cameras had captured everything. Their attempts to make me feel guilty, the recorded confession, and my final sentence. What I owe you is a mirror. An employee had anonymously uploaded it with a caption. When the quiet daughter finally spoke up hours later, the news was all over the place. Messages poured in from strangers. Stories of betrayal, favoritism, and stolen peace. Sloane called, sobbing. Claire, please take down the post. People are accusing us of stealing. You've already expressed your opinion, I said calmly. The world listened this time. My mother then tried in a falsely calm tone. Honey, you're ruining our reputation. I looked around my spotless apartment, my name gleaming on the lease hanging by the door. No, Mom, I said. I'm protecting my reputation. As I hung up, I noticed something odd. A message from my grandfather. I'm so proud of you, my little one. It was time someone in this family learned the value of peace with property. That message meant more to me than any internet trend because, for the first time, the family that had tried to silence me was exposed, and all I had done was calmly speak the truth. 3 months passed. The noise died down. The viral post, the petty messages, the fake apologies. Only silence remained. A beautiful, well-deserved silence. Sloane moved in with a friend across town. My mother, still clinging to her image, started attending family healing seminars and posting inspirational quotes she didn't understand. I stopped replying to her messages, not out of hatred, but out of a desire for peace. My landlord renewed my lease early. You're one of the few tenants who respects what they own, he said. I smiled. His words had affected me more than he'd realized. At night, I would sit by the window, the same window where I'd once stood crying as they threw my jacket in my face. Now the window overlooked a different view, a view of stillness, a view of control, a view of self-esteem. One day a package arrived. The sender's name was not mentioned. Inside the box was a small brass key and a note written in a trembling hand. To the only person who remembered integrity. The lake house is yours now, Granddad. Tears blurred my vision. It wasn't about the property. It was about what it meant. Someone had seen me. Truly seen me unconditionally. That night, I drove to the lake house. The wind was gentle. The air smelled of pine and salt. And for the first time in years, I whispered to myself, No one can drive away peace. And I realized then that this was the most precious house of all.
अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं। ये जो दिन सहारे थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं। तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा बेसर्द लगता है। दिल का हर एक कोना अब बहुत ही दूर भरता है। अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं। ये जो दिन सुहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं। तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा सर्द लगता है। दिल का हर एक कोना बहुत ही दर्द भरता है। मेरे साए भी मुझसे अब जुदा होने को कहते हैं। तुझे खोने की राहों में ये आंसू बहने लगते हैं। कहाँ जाऊं कहाँ ढूंढूं मेरा वो साजो सामा तो मेरी हर एक तमन्ना तू। मेरी रूह का मकां तू। लकीरों में नहीं लिखा जो तुमने ख्वाब देखा था। वफा की इस कहानी में फकत एक गम ही लिखा था। सितारों से भी पूछता है पता तेरा कहाँ होगा। मगर खामोश है दुनिया कहाँ मेरा जहाँ होगा। बस एक बार मुड़ के देख ले मेरी बेबसी की सूरत। मुझे है आज भी तेरी वफा की सख्त जरूरत। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर।